What is going on, guys? For those who don't know me, my name is Ricky. I am a dad to twins. And in today's video, we're moving away from car content. And what I'm trying to do right now is try to give some dad advice or parental advice. So a lot of discretion with this video. Take what you must, see if it fits your needs. But I got this idea actually from a friend of mine who knows someone who is expecting twins. So he asked me if I could go ahead and pass along some words of wisdom. When it first started, I remember feeling really ecstatic. I just remember that same day, that very day where I got the news that I was expecting twins. My wife told me, surprised me. It was one of the most amazing days of my life.
Okay, here you go. What are you looking at? You know which one is the baby?
Red light camera ahead.
What does it look like?
These twins?
Red light camera ahead.
Serious? Huh? You serious?
You got twins.
Ever since then, it's been a whirlwind, it's been a journey, it's just been beautiful chaos. Or that's how we put it, right? But today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and title it, So You're Gonna Be a Dad, right? First of all, congratulations to you and wifey. And it's the most incredible feeling in the world to have a new sense of purpose in life while being a parent, because this is a whole new responsibility. Your life is going to change. But we're going to start off with a few bullet points right here. The first one being, let's go, be prepared for the unexpected. And that was one of the key terms that I didn't really take serious when listening to an audiobook for dads or for parents. Now, I knew we were being prepared. We were prepared, right? We were on our way to just packing up everything. We had OBs, the doctors, all that, hospitals, all planned out, right? But the thing is, the key point is be prepared for everything, all the unexpected. Having twins, be ready for them to come out earlier than the full-term 40-week pregnancy. Our girls are actually out on the 35th week. And not even that. We were going in for a routine ultrasound on the 35th week, and something happened, medical issues, and our girls were out the same night, all right, an emergency C-section. Now, the next advice that we have to give, I would say to choose your pediatrician early, and also go ahead and do a meet and greet if you want with the pediatrician, because again, you will need to go ahead and have that information ready before getting discharged with your babies. You will also need to have your baby seats ready to go, because first aid, you need that to do a 60-minute to I think even a 90-minute car seat test, so that they know that babies could go ahead and be safe and be able to breathe on your way home from the hospital. I would also suggest maybe have a baby on board sticker, just so people on the road in the city usually don't go ahead and tail you or don't go ahead and get too close. It'll give them a warning that you're driving slower on the right lane for some reason. I had a few friends who gave me advice on especially what to get and what's helpful or not. So we will start off with one of the most important ones, and that is Aquaphor. It actually really is helpful for the years to come because it helps with eczema, helps with dry skin. Our hack right now, back then, was to go ahead and use 7th generation everything, instead of using Draft and Dapple, because that actually saved us a lot of money in the long run, or a significant amount. What we also found very, very helpful was a bottle dryer. Either it's a bottle rack or a bottle dryer that actually disinfects your bottles, right? The bottle warmers definitely is helpful. We would use that as well, a Philips Advent bottle warmer, that's what we have. And we also use a bottle brush even to this day. A timer also is very useful when it comes to heating up milk, heating up formula. Next we have on our list is a sound machine or white noise machine. That will actually create a nice consistent environment for the babies when they're sleeping, to prevent any type of sudden noises or a spike in noises to wake them up. We also have blackout curtains to go ahead and keep the sun away. and also keep a temperature control, keeping the draft away as well if you're in the winter. We had a bassinet in the first run, in the first few weeks, actually the first few months, because that's much easier to move from room to room if the girls are sleeping versus a crib. The crib, we actually had that set up around their 6 months or so half a year. We also had a diaper pail, a gift from our cousin. That one is also a must-have because you're gonna be changing a lot of diapers, a lot of poop. That one really kept the smell away. And when you opened it up every night to go ahead and dump diapers, you definitely do get a whiff, very strong whiff of what the girls, the havoc they wrecked. Also organic towels. We had a ton of those. We used a ton of them just to wipe them down, their face, their body and everything like that. So organic towels, there's never enough of those. So just keep them nice and warm and plush. I would like to talk about certain bottles that worked for us. We went through so many. We went through Philip Advents, we went through Comotomos, we went through a couple that I kind of slipped off my head. But the one that really worked for us was Dr. Brown's. It actually helped with colic issues. So definitely try to look into that, but every baby's different, every household is different. But what worked for us was Dr. Brown's. Also, this one, last but not least, this one helped us a ton. It is a diaper changing table, or just a diaper changing area that's elevated so you don't have to go ahead and bend down because it takes a toll on your back. You're gonna be changing a lot of diapers. It's gonna go ahead and it's gonna kill your back. Moving on, I just wanna talk about the pregnancy journey in itself. The first trimester will be very interesting. During that time, for us personally, it was peak COVID and there was a ton of issues that we had to deal with. So my wife was actually still working. So my cousin, again, who's an OB, she recommended that my wife go ahead and take a month off or however long that she can and just go ahead and rest for the first trimester. So again, it was a tough time. We just lost our dog at that point and she was very close to my dog. So we're just afraid of miscarriages, right? And the second trimester is where she started feeling a lot better. She didn't have to take medicine for the nausea, right? She was starting to gain weight. Her appetite was getting better. And at that point, what we recommend, we couldn't do it, but if you wanna go ahead and have a baby moon or travel, this is also really the best time to do so. You know, go ahead and you wanna go crib shopping or do some baby shopping out with your wife, pretty much the best time. I recognize that I didn't know it then, but this is like when the pregnancy glow for women starts to really show. You know, they are much more happier, I would say, like they have much more energy. You know, that's when they like the food, they want to go ahead and just eat all these type of cravings. Also during the second trimester, we went ahead and I played a lot of classical music. Mostly Mozart for babies. I used to have it playing in the car. I used to have it playing in the whole house. Just get a nice calm vibe going on. I'm not sure if it will help, but it definitely created a calmer environment for us. Now, another advice that I would recommend for the second trimester is to go ahead and record everything at this stage, starting at this stage. Try to take pictures week by week to go ahead and document mommy's belly. But at the same time, go ahead and take a ton of videos because this is your first pregnancy, first time learning everything, going through these motions. So having this documented is gonna be just overall amazing in the long run. Now moving on, the third trimester, very uncomfortable. Mommy will be not able to sleep. What I remember was to take a lot of walks in the evening time or just for breaks, right? Because it will definitely help. Mommy had to pee very often, so traveling in itself was, you had to take a lot of stops. But I remember going ahead and doing an apple picking session and it was a nice day. Just remember to go ahead and pack meals because mommy is feeling weak and pack smaller meals, eat more frequent, but eat less per meal. So your portions, because it will go ahead and contribute to the heartburn. Food-wise, we had a lot of salmon for omega-3s. We had a lot of nuts for snacks, a lot of fruits, a lot of watermelon and grapes. For vegetables, we did a lot of spinach. We did a lot of the steamed vegetables, blueberries, peanut butter, all that. I tend to go ahead and mix that all into smoothies so that my wife is able to take that while working without any type of hassle. Just drink it on the go and whatnot. She also had a lot of sandwiches that I packed throughout the day just in case she got hungry, and also at least 2 cartons of Horizon milk. The milk that the babies or your toddlers are drinking right now, she had a ton of that as well. I made sure I packed it in her bag to go. I started reading to mommy when the girls are in her belly. I'm not sure if that really helped, but a lot of deeper voices I heard. It's a lot more smoothing for the babies when they're in the womb. For the hospital bags, let's go ahead and talk about this. Our advice from our close friend was to go ahead and pack a large duffel or even a carry-on suitcase with a large duffel inside. What should you pack for the diaper bags? Well, here are a few things that I went ahead and I made a list about it. Let's see. Number 1, I would like to say what helped me was to bring a small notepad and also a pen. It's quicker than typing on your phone. Charger, a cable, or a battery bank. You need a phone with actual storage space, so make sure you clear everything out. Toiletries such as toothbrush and toothpaste, slippers, and comfortable loungewear like Crocs and all that, because you will be staying at the hospital for a day or 2 at least, right? But for twins, it's usually 3 to 4 days or even 5 days. Be prepared for, again, be prepared for the unexpected. You don't know when a NICU visit is around the corner, but hopefully, pray that nobody has to go through that type of experience. Now, it's a very special time to pick out baby names, especially if it's your firstborn. In general, it's a very special time, right? Very special occasion. But for twins, to be able to pick out 2 names at once, that's also very, in a way, once in a lifetime, right? So my advice was from the audiobook, was to go ahead and say the name out loud.
Go to your back door, open the door and yell into the backyard your 2 twin names in rapid succession as if you were calling them for dinner. Do they sound good? Will your neighbors think you're crazy when they hear those names over the coming years? If your names pass this final test, you're good to go.
On that note, I would say what I would recommend is to not name your babies with the same sounding pronunciations. Like I don't know, like Deanna or Brianna, or like Tommy and Tammy and stuff like that, right? You get the point, but again, that's all up to you guys in terms of choosing the names. Now, next on the list would be to have your birthing plan ready. For the most part, again, I'm going to mention again, twins will come early, and that's what happened to us. So the OB will actually suggest a C-section, at least for us, because it's more efficient. Again, that is totally up to the mommies out there, and mommies and daddies, just go ahead and discuss that. But from what we were told, our OB was saying that if my wife wanted to go ahead and do a natural birth, if the baby B becomes breached, they will go ahead and have to maneuver him or her towards the entrance, right? And from there on, it's going to be painful. And if it doesn't work, then they will have to do another emergency C-section after the natural birth, and that will be what they call double whammy. And definitely, it's something to think about. So a very important note on this next one is to be very careful of preeclampsia symptoms. Our cousin, she suggested that we take baby aspirin to go ahead and keep the blood pressure under control. Again, this is not medical advice, all right, but that's what we were suggested. That's what we ended up not taking her advice, because our immediate OB said that it wasn't necessary. Looking back, it probably should have been something that we should have done, right? Because my wife actually suffered through preeclampsia, and she had it, and that's why the girls were born earlier, right, than expected. So especially with twins, definitely go ahead and consider asking your OB about anything to prevent preeclampsia from happening, right? This section is going to be titled After Birth, and here are a few bullet points that I wanted to go ahead and touch up on, but the most important one, number 1, is postpartum depression. And one of my good friends warned me about it, and I was pretty much ready for it because he emphasized this particular point. And from here, postpartum depression is real, and it hit my wife, all right, and it most likely will affect your wife in some way or another, all right. So pretty much be there. Her mood's gonna go ahead and spike. She's gonna get emotional. She'll cry out of nowhere, but it's not really out of nowhere, you know. It's a ton of it's just underlying issues, right? From just going through birth, or going through a C-section. Overall, you know, C-sections take a huge toll on your wife. Especially with the recovery process. It might be really quick in terms of the delivery, right? But it really takes a long time for them to recover, especially a lot of stretching, it's just a ton of issues that can go wrong with C-sections. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but just keep on the lookout. All right, so this piece of advice right here, I would say is also very important, something that you guys would need or be prepared for, and that is the very first night that you come home from the hospital. And let me tell you, for that very first night, I have never felt like such a failure in my life, and I'm not even joking. Why? Because I was used to having the nursery help us at night. I was used to having the nurses back us up if anything was wrong. Coming home, you're thrown into that situation where it's like, oh, you're on your own, or you're with your wife. But for me, wifey was still recovering from the C-section. So at that point, the girls are in our room in their own bassinets. I put one to sleep, feed one, the other one's already awake. And then it got even worse, progressing towards the night where I was feeding one, and then baby B was awake, and then they both started crying. And overall, I was just like, what's happening? You know, I thought I was ready, I thought I was good. And then the swaddling, I thought I had down pat, but it was unraveling. The diaper, I wasn't doing right, and all that stuff. It was just, it was very, very overwhelming, but just go ahead and just prepare for that. And that's when I say, as a dad, keep your mental health in check going forward. And as a mom, definitely it's not you. My wife felt, she's feeling really bad about herself that she couldn't help. And then from there, you know, she got very emotional. The moment she gives birth, her job is 24/7 as a mom. It's basically 2 versus 1 of each of us if we're not present. So definitely go ahead and, as twin parents, coverage man to man, 2 versus 2, and communication is also key, which leads me to our next one. All right, this is coming straight from memory, straight from experience even. No matter how good you are with your wife, prior to marriage, after marriage, having twins, parents of multiples, will test your marriage. And I don't know if this is not the case for anybody else, but definitely the case for us. Now, if you're lucky enough to have someone go ahead and come over and help, especially grandparents, they're gonna be butting heads with you. That was what happened with us, where their old traditional ways clash with our new school ways, or what we learned from the hospital, all this stuff, right? As long as everything is all safe, you know, then it really goes a long way. Whether or not to have your bottles washed as well, whether or not to watch the babies while you take a quick shower, go out to even do a diaper run, all that stuff. It really, really gives you a clearer head, you know? On top of that, if they're able to go ahead and give you any type of meals, prepare your meals, that is really the cherry on top, where that is basically the whole cake, you know, because that really frees up, gives you a much better mood, makes you well fed. And if they are able to go ahead and take shifts with you, watching the babies, it gives you more rest. So it really does take a whole village to raise one singleton. It takes like a whole town to go ahead and raise twins. So keep that in mind. If you have help, take it. I think this is it. It's getting really windy, but my bullet points are as is right here. And I hope it really, from the bottom of my heart, helps you guys transition into being parents. So it's gonna be a really fun, exciting times ahead. Again, my sense of purpose as a dad, as a person, completely changed. My family's my world. My family is just number one. The girls, they're everything to me, right? So I hope it's the same way to you as dads. Keep with your wife, 24/7 support. On that note, signing out. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you guys find this useful, let me know. Whatever I am missing, leave in the comments down below for all the other dads to go ahead and you know, learn from. I'm no expert, but again, 4 years in, it's been one of the craziest 4 years of my life. It's been one of the most rewarding, and that's it. All right, so take care.